What were the sexual education disaster stories from your school? The separated boys and girls. The teacher for the boys let us do open Q&A anonymously on index cards we put in a box, and he would answer them out loud. He spent most of the time going through them in front of everyone going, not gonna read that one. Not gonna read that one. You come on guys. If woman has starch masks on body, does that mean she has been pregnant before? Am I pregnant? Can you get pregnant? Catholic school was a trip. In 9th grade, they separated all the guys and girls in our year for sex ed. The guys got your typical Catholic school-esque sex talk about abstinence and going blind if you masturbate, while us girls got to go grocery shopping and bake cookies for the boys. We never did get a sex talk, and the next year, 4 girls got pregnant. I'm sorry, what? How did that decision get made? Today we'll teach the boys to be ashamed of their DS, and we'll have the girls make them bake treats so they feel a little less bad about it. What will we teach the girls? We won't. What will we teach the girls? We won't. I'm dead, knowing who ran my school. That's 100% how that went down. Baking cookies for the boys would give them ideas. Somebody asked how 2 women can have sex. The 60-year-old female health teacher told us that VL fisting is the standard method, complete with a demonstration for how to perform fisting. I have never once fisted a V. I must be doing lesbian sex incorrectly. Someone link me better examples. Becky, come over here. We've been doing all of this wrong. My grandma is married to a woman named Becky, so I lolled extra hard. Female health teacher with long fake nails extremely flustered while demonstrating putting a condom on something D-shaped from the sculpture studio, Arts High School. After a few tries with us laughing, she goes, come on, you all know how to do this. Pregnant girl pipes up, miss. I clearly do not. That's a girl with wit and humility. During the prom drunk driven assembly, the district superintendent pulled a volunteer from the audience. It was my friend Tom. The superintendent asked Tom, what do you want to do with your life? Tom, having just knocked up his freshman girlfriend, exclaimed, I'm gonna be a dad. The whole auditorium erupted. Audibly laughed at that one. Have an upvote. Once in 7th grade, a girl asked if you could get pregnant by a screwdriver. I think about that girl a lot. Well, can you? I found a rusty toolkit in my basement and I don't think I can afford child support. The teacher was just like hysterically laughing, and one girl goes, yeah, if there's sperm on it. So the conclusion is don't come on a screwdriver and put it inside a lady. Guys are fine though. When we were in 8th grade, we had the sex ed teacher come in and talk to us. She showed a picture of a normal N, like one of those see-through pictures that explained each part. Well, in that it showed the balls. The teacher explained what they do and why you need them to impregnate a woman. She asked if there is any questions. Suddenly my friend Alex raises his hand and asks, let's say that a boy only has 1 ball. Could I still have kids? And that's how we all found out Alex only had 1 ball. Poor fucking Alex. Did he at least get his answer? Turns out you can have a kid with 1 ball. So he's fine, lol. Doesn't it depend on the ball? At my school, the teacher talked about anal sex to preserve virginity and anal stimulation in men. Now I realize she was really open to a lot. As if God, the almighty, all-knowing, all-powerful creator of everything, looks down to see Debbie taking her umpteenth coke there behind and thinks, drat, another one who outsmarted me. Do these people really believe it works like that? I often wonder. Meaning, do they really think they can trick God with a loophole like that? Do they believe it's not sex if you get naked with a guy and suck cock for all it's worth and then let him come in your behind and therefore you're still pure? Really? I suspect God cares more about how pure our treatment of other people is than how often we let people come in our behinds. Edit. Thank you, stranger, for my very first medal. This pretty much sums up what is left of my religious beliefs after escaping a fanatically Christian upbringing. Not exactly sex ed because I had to go to a Catholic school, but all of us boys got banned less than 5 minutes into our puberty talk because 2 kids joked about a poorly drawn diagram of a N. We were told we were gonna have a presentation at a later date. Never did. Well, no, I think they were just looking for an excuse. I don't know what they expected. Yeah, it wasn't even the teacher or someone directly affiliated with the school who called it off. The guest speaker just couldn't deal with a couple 11-year-olds snickering at a couple of oddly bushy balls. But like, what did they expect? The sex ed teacher had a bag full of goodies, as she put it. I pulled out a dildo and some kid said, "OMG, what is that? I swear I've seen one of those in my house." That's so weird. TF did she want you to do with it? Class, does this smell weird to you? The teacher set a dildo directly on the desk of the girl in front of me, and she bursted out crying and left the room. I believe that's called PTSD. Yeah, it was really sad. Was there more to why she left? My middle school sex ed teacher held both hands out away from his body, palms turned up, and said, "I like to play with my wife's jitties." And that's how you get a woman pregnant. Pregnant? A kid asked what popping a cherry was, and the teacher, who was a big burly idiot of a guy, bluntly said, "When women lose their virginity, they bleed all over the bed, and cherries are red." Absolutely mortified expressions washed over the face of every girl in the class, and I vaguely remember one girl saying, "Not happening." Apparently some of them complained to their parents, and the next day he had to clarify, but with the most sarcastic "only some of them do" explanation. My mom was on the PTA at the time. Said some of the parents lost their shit. Another time, one kid asked why his balls hurt when he squeezed them, and he said, "Because you're squeezing them. Don't do that." Well, he wasn't wrong with that last part, unless I am also missing some critical info. This was in the late 90s in public middle school. The school held an assembly and brought in a group of these weird bodybuilders talking about sex and God. One of them tried and failed to rip a phone book in half. I don't remember much about it except they took a volleyball net and stretched it out so the holes got really big and said something to the effect of, "This is a condom." Imagine how easy it would be to throw a volleyball through that net. Not hard, right? Well, condoms are made to protect sperm from passing through, but the AIDS virus is much smaller than sperm, and just like a volleyball through this stretch out net, it can get through much easier. Edit. I'm shocked this was such a popular trend, or maybe even the same group power team. I just remember being appalled at the religious, abstinence only and anti-science messages. If my children came home and told me about this, I would throw a fit. I don't blame you. Sex education in the States is abhorrent. I remember how the teachers when I was in school took themselves way too seriously. Sure, but every state and county differs. My experience in the States was many times better than the stories here. We also had it 5th through 8th grade. I remember in year 10 some people came to our school for sex ed. They put the boys in a separate classroom and then talked about how to use feminine hygiene products for an hour. To a room of 15-16-year-old girls. I later learned from my friends that to the boys they talked about nocturnal emissions. Great job, whichever organization that was. Talk about shutting the stable door after the horse has bolted. Never heard this one before, but I like it. We got that, but it was year 5. We were all 10. And even then there was already a girl who'd gotten her period. The only sex education that we got in my school was a 2-week course during our biology class. I lived in a pretty conservative part of Texas growing up, so our sex education was basically just about abstinence and a few of the really gross STD pictures. Our biology professor showed us a live birth every year. The worst part is that it was a video of her giving birth to her son. I never want to think about my teachers who were especially while giving birth. My husband teaches high school. They get age-appropriate and comprehensive sex ed from around 2nd grade on. It's state mandated. Gladly, because I'm sure my super conservative county wouldn't allow it. So, sex ed doesn't hold stigma in the presentation. Here's the curriculum. Here is why it's the curriculum. Teach it. However, if any of the teachers showed their own birth video in class, they'd probably be asked to resign. Show a birth video, by all means, but keep it professional and educational. Making an example of your own bits is super duper unethical. Yes, something about it is just weird. And even if I had to resort to my own birth video, I feel like I would edit it so you don't know it's me and never own up to it. But even that is still super weird. Hella uncomfortable. This just makes me think of that South Park episode where they're teaching sex positions to 6-year-olds, lol. Not from sex education, but a story that a friend has told me when he was in college. He was in biology college, but at the sometimes they had joined classes with doctors. That day they were studying the reproductive system and the female teacher asked a female student, "What is the average length of penis?" The student answer, "About 0.19 centimeters." The teacher then said, "You are either unprepared for the class or extremely lucky."